Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and today I bring you guys my Alakazam deck profile for y'all today. This is actually a very fun deck. It's my first stun deck, my first control deck, and it's my first wall deck. So if you don't know, Alakazam is a very interesting EX. He's one of the only Pokemon in the game, to my knowledge, the only Pokemon in the game that has the ability to attack your opponent's monsters while in the bench. He's the only monster that has the ability of Dimensional Hand, which is a 120 attack with 2 psychic energy that can attack your opponent's Pokemon in the active spot while he's sitting in the bench. Now, of course, we have cards like Monkey Dory that can move damage to the bench, and we have like cards that on play give damage to your opponent's monsters and things like that. But this is the first Pokemon that I think can actually like sit in the back of the bench, hide behind like a stun card, and just continuously donk 120 damage on your opponent, which is really good. He also has another attack called Mind Jack, which is any colorless ability, 2 energy. The attack does 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench plus 90. So basically what it allows them to do is that if their opponent has 5 cards in the bench, this thing swings pretty good in the active spot. So if you were wondering, 90 plus 150 is his attack. So I believe he does 240 in the active spot, which is pretty good. That means he's two-shotting most of any EX card in the game, which is really good. Not to mention he has a 1-cost retreat, so it's easy to go back into the main spot, which feels really awesome. So that's kind of the goal of this deck, is to evolve into an Alakazam, into your bench, using your energy to just sit behind a very powerful card that will either floodgate your opponent or wall off your opponent's attacks, and you win the game that way. So let's start. We're playing 3 copies of Alakazam because he is the main heart and soul of the deck. We're also playing 2 copies of Kadabra. Kadabra has an interesting ability, interesting attack actually. He has, for 1 energy, 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, plus 10. So the more energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, he does more damage. So he is currently does 30, which is pretty interesting. I actually knocked out one of the Gardevoir's characters, and it actually won me the game because of it. So that attack does come up. We're also playing 3 copies of Abra. Now, I've seen people play 4. I think 3 is fine. You're only going to ever set up 3 Alakazam, so Abra is just fine as a 3 of. He has the ability of Teleport, which means if he's ever in the active spot, you can shuffle him back into the deck for free to get away from like damage already applied to him. He's only a 40 HP, which really sucks because against decks like lovely Dragonbolt, they can easily kill this guy. But if you're going first and he's in your active spot and you want him in your bench so you can evolve him, you can use your teleport ability, put him back in deck, then use like a Buddy Poffin or Precious Trolley to replay him back onto the field, then to evolve him, which is actually really good. It's also a way to get a very powerful stun card into your active spot, which is also really good. Next, we're playing the Xatu line. We're playing 2 Xatu, who has the Clairvoyant Sense ability that allows you to move a basic psychic energy from your hand onto a Pokemon on your bench. And then if you do that, you get to draw 2 cards, which is really powerful. He basically our energy accelerator. We're also playing his weak form, Nazu, who has the ability of Triple Strike. Flip a coin. This attack does 10 damage for each heads, times 3. Hit 3 heads, you can kill a Badoo. It doesn't really come up that often, but it's something I wanted to mention. Now, that is it for our basic line. This is our, of course, energy acceleration. This is our main attacker. Let's actually talk about the supporters. We're playing a lot of Pokemon in this deck. I think it's 21 to be exact, which is a lot. So this is our Alakazam line. That's our Xatu line. Let's talk about the basics we're playing. We're playing 1 Latias EX, who allows us to move our walls, depending on the scenario. We're also playing a Monkey Dory, who, with a lovely dark energy, allows you to move damage from one of your Pokemon in your bench or active to your opponent's Pokemon, which is really good. Also, if you were playing Psychic Energy anyway, so you can also use the Mind Bend attack, which is basically a 60 damage attack that also makes the active Pokemon confused. We're also playing a Pheasantipede because, hey, if your Pokemon gets knocked out the previous turn, you have to draw 3. Not bad. For our attackers, we're playing the 1 copy of Ursaluna Blood Moon. Really great for the late game. Just a really good swinger. The problem with Alakazam is that because his attack is so weak in the bench, and we're not playing cards like Defiance. Oh, and we're not playing anything that update his attack. So basically, Blood Ursaluna does 2400, which is the same as Alakazam, and it just helps you clear out games. We're also playing a Lily's Clefairy. This helps us deal with Dragon Bolt and other dragon-based decks like Raging Bolt. Basically, while this card's in the bench or in the active, weakness ability to opponent's psychic Pokemon is applied as weakness. So basically saying, hey, all your psychic Pokemon, they are attacking to weakness to any dragon type, which is pretty insane. Not to mention, it also has the Foam Moon Rondo attack, which for a second energy and a colorless allows you to do 20 more damage to each of your bench Pokemon, which can get a lot. This thing can like swing for 200 sometimes, which is kind of crazy. That is it for our attackers. Now let's talk about our walls. We're playing one we call Chromostone Ogerpon, which we're using for its Chromostone Stance ability. Basically saying, hey, prevent all damage to attacks done by a Pokemon that have an ability, which is really good against lovely decks like, actually, I think, yeah, like Gardevoir and things like that. It's also really good against decks like the lovely, what's the steel deck? The Oregon? I forgot what he is, but it helps you wall off against decks that have damage ability, which does matter. We're also playing, of course, Iron Thorns as our basically turns off any EX or V-Star Pokemon's abilities, which is pretty insane. As long as this card's in the active spot, they're basically negated. Now, this is not good against decks like Dragon Pulse and not good against decks like Raging Bolt because they don't have abilities. However, it is semi-good because it also turns off a lot of the support Pokemon. So this card turns off Pidgeot EX. It turns off the Burn Volcano dude. It turns off lovely Fez. It turns off Latias. It turns off a shit ton of Pokemon that a lot of people are playing the current moment. It turns off Lily's Clefairy. It turns off it turns off Blaziken EX, ability to like get energy in rotation. It turns off End Zoroark, Goldengo. It turns off a lot of abilities, and the fact that it's just 230 is really, really good. I considered playing a Earth and an Electric Energy in the deck just so that I can attack with them, but for 3 energy for them to do their attacks, it just felt like too much, so I ended up not doing that. And then finally, for our last Pokemon, we're playing 2 copies of Mimikyu. Mimikyu is really good, basically because of his ability Safeguard. Prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks with EX or V, which is just pretty insane, honestly. It also has for 2 energy, 1 psychic. You get to put 7 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon, so he's attacking for 70, which is just pretty good. Next, let's talk about our supporters. We are playing, actually, let's move the Pokemon away now because it's kind of covering the field. We have, like I said, we're playing a lot of Pokemon in this deck. The reason why is because there's a lot of ways to move the things. Latias is important to moving our lovely walls around if we need to, and it just helps us out a lot. So that's it for the Pokemon. Let's talk about these supporters. So we're playing 3 copies of Arven. I considered playing the 4th, but I decided not to just because we're playing tools, but not enough tools to justify it. After like the 3rd Arven, it's just going to be like adding an item only, so do keep that in mind. We're playing 3 Professor's Research because Professor's Research is just a great card. Discard your hand, draw 7, helps you get into better hands, which feels really good. We're also playing, of course, 3 copies of Iona as our final supporter, which also feels incredibly good. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Artisan because Artisan helps you put your lovely basics into the bench, but no EXs, of course, or Vs, which feels really good. It helps you basically get your Monkey Dories into play or your lovely Mimikyus, which feels really good. We're also playing the 1 Precious Trolley because Precious Trolley can literally just load up your bench with all the basics you want, allowing you to set up your plays. We're playing 4 copies of Nest Ball because Nest Ball is basically critical for this deck. It's more important than Puffin, just due to the fact that literally it just allows you to play a basic directly from your deck into your bench, which feels really, really good. Playing 3 copies of Rare Candy, which is just how you extremely evolve into the lovely Alakazam himself. Playing 2 copies of Ultra Ball, helps you get to whatever evolution or whatever Pokemon you need. We're playing 2 copies of Buddy Buddy Poppin because they're not playing enough basics from most decks. Most decks play 4 because they're playing a lot of basics. We're not playing a lot of basics that this can play out because it has the 70 limit. And most of our basics are just gigantic. We're also playing 2 copies of Earthen Vessel. It helps us get our energies going. The 1 copy of Switch. The 1 copy of Counter Catcher. And for our tools, we're playing 1 Future Booster Energy Capsule. This is how we retreat our lovely Iron Boy. Because he, while in the active Iron Forms, he turns off Latias. So he's like one of the only Pokemons besides the actual Alakazam that cannot be moved once in the active spot. And if he ends up being a bad matchup or about to die, it'd be nice to move him out of there. So we're playing the 1 Future Booster for that reason. And then finally, we're playing 2 TM Evolutions. And we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Psychic Energy and the 2 Dark Energy for the Monkey Dories. And that's it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid. See you on the next one, and goodbye.